like
alcohol.
That's a coach copious. I was thinking that actually. I don't know where this is going to lead. Hi everyone. So I am joined now by the fabulous crew of Piano Man, Roger Parks Productions, and also our lovely friend Ryan.
Hi, how you doing?
Morning.
Morning, yes.
Morning.
Yes. It's the day after the night before. So how are you feeling, Rog?
A little bit worse for wear, but as I say, we're used to it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
isn't this the place where you began? Like you and Kelly,
We actually met here.
Yes.
So
yes. So in terms of Kelly's and my working
Yeah.
relationship, it started here. Yeah.
Wow. And how long's that been?
Oh, 08.
2008. Yeah.
So 17 and a half years.
Wow.
So you were, you was the manager of organising.
Well, it turned into that, but I first auditioned to be on the team. So 2008, I was 21.
So shy.
Yeah. Oh.
Very small.
And then Roger come along.
Yeah, it was even shyer.
You are not shy now, though. By the way, when you were on that stage, absolutely fantastic.
And then we all came along.
Yeah. Well, that's where I was going to lead to next. Of how, how did Piano Man and the idea, where did it all come from?
Oh, blimey, it's a long time ago. So I think I always wanted to do a multi-tribute.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Elton John and Billy Joel fan anyway.
Yeah.
I modelled my piano style around those particular players. So I suppose it was born out of the material I generally do in my spot anyway.
Yeah.
And it sort of got compiled to give it a name, give it a premise.
Yeah.
And but I mean it's gone through many incarnations.
Oh really?
Yeah, but it's had all sorts of things in it. So it's eventually landed as Billy Joel, Elton John, Stevie Wonder, Barry Manilow, but I mean, it's had all sorts of. So
where did it come from then, Rog, within you to want, where did all this piano come from? Was it just like one day you saw the piano and thought, right, I'm gonna, because I've phenomenal, by the way, phenomenal, mind-blowing, phenomenal. Not only are the backing singers, Megan and Kelly, and they're more than, I don't even like using the word backing singers because they're like the front singers alongside yourself, so I don't want to diminish or downgrade anybody, but there's also Louise as well, who's sadly not here, but where did it come from, Roger, all this, one day did you see a piano and be like, I want to play it?
It was, it's not known to many, but it's not, piano isn't the first instrument, it was electronic organ in the 70s, and an uncle of mine owned one, and when we visited him, I think as a 4-year-old, I was fascinated by this instrument, and I just sort of started mimicking, he played a bit, so I was sort of mimicking what he did, thinking nothing of it really. And I think that my parents saw that I was, I'd got a flair for mimicking exactly what he did.
Yeah.
And I think
So you don't know lessons or anything? You just literally.
I did initially, that sparked them off to book me some lessons, but I didn't stick with lessons very long. I because they wanted me to read music and I couldn't. I found that really hard. So I sort of went my own way.
So you don't have a sheet or anything? Because Megan, for example, I'm assuming Kelly's the same. Like you guys, when you do your musical teaching, you have all the notes and stuff, or do you all play by ear as well?
I read music and I started playing piano and had classical lessons. But then I did my grade 5 theory at drama school and now I can't play. So I feel like it's gone the other way around.
Yeah, okay.
But in terms of my teaching and my vocal stuff, then I do read music and sing from that. But we don't do that in rehearsals, do we?
No, but I don't. I play by ear, so I'm similar to Rog in that way.
Yeah,
so.
but we do need to add as well, though, Kel, you are an intricate. You are the cog of organising and everything else, and sometimes it must get stressful because you work as well.
Yeah.
So to be working and then it's like I'm doing this, but the way it all gels together is fabulous. I can't praise it up enough.
Oh, thank you.
Honestly, and
I think I'm very lucky to have to be joined by total professionals.
Yeah.
Who are as passionate about putting on a good performance as I am.
Yeah.
And so I've got it's these people I need to thank.
Yeah.
Sort of make it all sound nice and look nice, and the rest of it. Kelly, as you say. Makes everything happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's not even, I know we're here now at Ladron Bay, but it's not even Caravan Parks anymore. You're now doing like theatres and you know, and you get quite anxious before a show. But
That's an understatement.
Yeah, well, but how do you get up there and push past that?
I think it's the anxiety comes from not necessarily my ability to perform, because you know I've done this a long time, so we know what I can do.
Yeah.
It's the anxiety comes from how it's going to be received.
Yeah.
Whether things are going to go wrong technically, because they do a lot, more than they should, and so it's all. It's not. The anxiety is just what's going to happen tonight.
Yeah.
Because the crowd can go either way. They've never been unpleasant.
Yeah.
But they could be indifferent. They could be sort of not really get involved.
Yeah.
And then you're up there, sort of feeling flogging a dead horse.
Yeah.
So and how do I overcome the anxiety? I don't know. One of the things I've done is put people on stage with me, because I used to do all this on my own. It is a lonely life going up on stage on you.
Yeah.
Solo. And so putting some people with me who I can then have on stage banter with is a massive boost to the confidence.
So it's such an inspirational thing though, Rog, because to have that anxiety, to have that stress, to have that worry and everything else, and to be able to push past that and deliver what you deliver, it's outrageous.
Oh,
Ryan's word, by the way, this is outrageously.
Well, it only takes one cheer or round of applause, and then I'm happy.
Yeah.
Once I know that the crowd are enjoying it, then all the then all the anxiety subsides. It's when it's hard work, it is hard work. If they don't respond, getting them to respond is hard work. We often get there in the end, don't we?
I think as well, because that's the main part of the show, isn't it? You want people to join in and you want people to sing along with us. It's a request spot for a reason, but if they're not giving you anything and they're not shouting out requests, it's a bit like, okay, what should we do now? No, what are we doing? Yeah.
But it is credit to you though, like going back to what you were just saying though, to still to have that anxiety of people going to enjoy it and people, but for people who have never seen a show, Rog, what would they expect from a show with you, or what would you see, what advice would you give, or if they haven't seen you before?
It's a tricky one. I don't know. I just want to impress upon them that there are a lot of people out there cheating these days. There are a lot of people who mime. I've got backing vocals on tracks. Some of them have even got instruments on tracks. You'd be amazed, even right to the people who are top of their game, famous people. I know to have, cheats on the tracks to make it easier for them. Wow. And what I would impress upon anybody who's a potential watcher of our show, that we don't do any of that. It is all live. So it's rough around the edges in places, but that's live music. Well, let me tell you now, it is not rough around the edges. It is fantastic, and you just literally do it live there, and then you do the request spot as well, which. Well, that's that's to sort of hit home that this is a live performance, because you can't plan that. You can't sort of pre-record it or anything, because the requests are coming from there, so.
But it's not even the request spot itself with the track that people are shouting out, or the song or the artist, whatever it may be. It's the way you'll be going from Meatloaf into Bon Jovi into someone else. And then I love, by the way, your Meatloaf the Meatloaf voice. If you have not seen a Roger Park show, request Meatloaf.
It's become a bit of a gimmick, hasn't it? That's something to chuck in to make them laugh, or at least raise a smile. To show that we've got a sense of humour and we don't take it seriously.
And that does shine through every time. But I just think you're all great in your own way, and I love. I've seen Piano Man, Electric Dreams, and then is there more to come, Rog? Is it different?
Yeah, we're just at the
okay.
It's very exciting.
I suppose over the last sort of 30 years or so, I've been producing shows for holiday parks for their in-house teams to perform, So I've got all these shows that are not being performed at the moment, you know, from yesteryear.
Oh wow.
So I've got all these shows sitting there that Piano Man always had me in it because I suppose I front that one. But Electric Dreams, you know, it's a show that can be performed by a team of people. And all I've done is sort of dig it out, resurrect it, and you know, put more vocal onto it and give it a bit more shine, add stuff to it, and then make it into something that we can go out and perform ourselves.
Yeah. So I suppose we can go in full circle if we go back to, I know that you spoke about, so you was the entertainment manager of putting the pieces, always being the cog. There's something there, Kel. But then how did you decide to, I'm going to walk away from this and now I'm going to move into, we're going to make our own? Where was the birth of that?
I think that's born out of, I mean, when you've done something for 30 years and you see other people performing, you know, musical arrangements all around the southwest, I think to myself, I ought to, before I get too old, which I'm quickly doing, I ought to make the most of being able to perform. You know, 'cause there's going to come a time when I can't.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, let's nurture what we can do live.
And this is why I'm here. You guys just got together and said, right, this is what we want to do.
Yeah, and we moved away as well because we used to live down here. So we moved away up to the Midlands, and just said, right, we need to get a group up here. Let's recruit some vocalists and see, and just go from there. And now it's grown into vocalist status, Roger. More people on board, like you know, it's great.
And we said we always wanted to do theatres.
Yes.
That's always been an ambition of Kelly's and mine.
Yeah.
So you know, we've started off very, very small and just do these little tiny theatres, just to get that buzz of the fact that you've got people's attention.
Yeah, but they're still like 200 seaters and stuff. They're not like small. And what you do,
theatres.
I understand. Yeah, but so where are you placing yourself next, then, Kel? Like, what's the plans for the Roger Parks Productions? Like, where, you know, are you trying to take it? We
want to do more shows, so as many shows as we can get under our banner, and I think kind of see where we go from it. Get the awareness out of the shows because they are unique. So when you've got a show out there, nobody's got that show. So
it's not like it's the same as anything else, is
absolutely no.
It's totally different, and it's not an 80s show. It's not, you know, it's not a tribute show where we dress up as them. No, it's arrangements, and it's specialised arrangements that you don't hear. Live harmonies, you've got dancing, you've got Roger's crazy request spot and doing whatever comes to mind.
Literally whatever people throw at him. Like there is nothing. What did you do last night?
What did we do?
The Macarena.
Oh, that was really good.
I was like, what? I'm like, how?
The Macarena is actually only one chord.
Don't give it away, Rod.
Oh, sorry, mate. We'll cut that bit out.
So that's a, you know, didn't take a particularly skilled musician to do that.
Does it hurt though, Rod? You know, with like finger, like, do you ever any aches and
like? I've started doing in my later.
Oh, really?
It never used to when I was younger. I'd be thrashing away at the piano every night, and it was fine. But yeah, it's. I think in my older days, I think my pain threshold started to drop, and when I woke up this morning, my fingers were the first. Really sore.
Yeah. So, and what do you guys do? Do you meet up? Like, how do you rehearse? Do you meet up once a week or twice a month, or what's the just weekly?
Yeah, weekly on a Monday. Every Monday at the same place. It's kind of a little home now. It is.
But when you see a theatre show, the way it's put together. I can't praise it up enough, but honestly, I absolutely love the show. And if anybody's watching, and you know that they're in town, go and see it. But the way you put it together, it just shows the dedication that you've all put in. I mean, you've been on the show before, mate, and we've spoke about numerous things and stuff, the amount of work that you put in. But this is another part of what you do, putting your effort into this as well. And you can just see, though, it pays off because the way that it's just, I mean, even you've got like a screen there with like video backdrop and then... Yeah.
It's. I suppose that's born out of trying to add a little bit of production. I think what Kelly was saying, if I can reiterate that, it's about us being different. It's about us doing something that not everybody out there is doing.
Yeah.
You know, we're not like you say, just tributing one act.
There is definitely no other Roger Parks. I'm putting that statement there. No, absolutely not. Phenomenal.
And I suppose with our history of working holiday parks, so without wishing to be unpleasant about anyone, holiday park audiences are very, very difficult. You know,
Okay.
because they're not paid to be there. They're in a room where you're putting entertainment on, and they can take it or leave it. They can go to the bar and drink. So we're used to having to do something outrageous to grab people's attention.
Yeah.
So I suppose when we move that training into a theatre, we're probably doing over and above what we need to do to get people's attention in a theatre. We've already got their attention.
Yeah.
And so I suppose we're trying to put every little bit of production, anything that will grab their attention, and add and make it better and all the time, because we're used to working with people without much of an attention span.
Yeah. Do you think without the production of your shows that you've got currently, like where do you think Roger Parks would be now? In terms of, did you ever go through a period of what's the point? If like I've had enough, I'm gonna, you know, and now. And then a second question, just to add to that, is you must be proud of yourself, because to go from where you were to where you're going and where you're at is just phenomenal.
I'm more proud of the people I work with than myself, because I'm just providing what I've always provided.
Yeah.
I think it's adding the right people to that.
Yeah.
has brought it a lot more than I have. Don't you? Well, I can't get you to agree with that. But yes, of course, there's been times when I've thought, right, I'm done now.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old for this.
Yeah.
That is one of my stock phrases, isn't it?
I hope you're enjoying the sit-down chat that I'm having with Roger and the girls as well. Lou wasn't there because she was away for a birthday, but Lou is she's a great part of the family, the Roger Parks production as well. But isn't it just fascinating to hear Roger speaking about the anxieties, the stress of always trying to perform at his best level, but he keeps pushing forward. And it's the same with me whenever I go up on stage. You have to put your ego to one side and say, I'm doing this for a greater purpose, in a different form, but yet it's still similar. This is what inspired me to sit down with Roger and do this. So I think there's a message there for all of us. If you're trying to achieve something, you're wanting to do something, just go and do it. Find that courage, find that strength within. The anxiety, the stress will always be there, but push past that boundary and the world is your oyster. If you are enjoying this video, then please do hit the like and subscribe. Now let's get back to it.
Yeah, but the way you perform, Rog, and also you don't look old anyway, and the way you perform, honestly, it's just, I can't even put it into words. Honestly.
You guys enjoy it as well, don't you?
I was just going to bring Ryan in and just ask him. You know, Ryan, so you're a friend of the band as well, and the group, the production. Sorry.
What do you call it?
It's just, I don't know what to, because it's such a big variety, and that's what it's not one thing. It's you know, you're more than just a band. But what I love most is that it becomes a family.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. Like all of us, like you welcome me into this group production, you know, not only as a friend, but I feel like I'm part of something, and I'm sure you agree with that as well, Ryan.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Just the family aspect, I think, is it's what it feels like. Absolutely.
What was it like the first time watching them, Ryan?
Oh, it blew my mind. Absolutely. Again, we're not sure what to expect really when you come in, but you know it's going to be good, but you don't know how good. And then the skills of everyone, all of it put together, like you said, it is just incredible. Outrageous. Outrageous, lad.
Outrageous.
Lad's this word that we use now. If you're my lad, you mean? and Kel's lad. Lad. Meg.
Well.
Lad.
Yeah. But we do add
add a few extra, you know.
Why is it? So I'll put lad and then why lady. Laddie. So for anybody watching this, Rog, and you know, aspiring to be like yourself play the piano or any sort of musical instrument, because there ain't many that you can't do, and you've got a cracking voice as well. I mean, very spoiled. You know, but what would you say to those who are going through your anxiety?
I would always encourage youngsters to learn an instrument. I mean, it's so rewarding when you're improving day by day. It's hard work. I'm not going to, you know, and so many fall by the wayside. But my advice would be, don't be that one who falls by the wayside. Just keep going. Keep trying. It's a joy to play a musical instrument. And to reach adulthood and being relatively accomplished in that instrument. It's because then you've another string to your bow. A way that you could possibly earn money if you work it right. And I think also we're now living in a society where everything is screens, iPads, iPods, and computers, and just to get children away from all that, and to have something else to focus on. I think, and I think that live music will always be a thing. No matter where technology goes, live music, somebody actually playing an instrument is always going to be a thing. And so I'd just say, choose your instrument that floats your boat and go for it.
Absolutely, I love that. And just to add as well, Rog, because obviously with my readings and stuff, and over the years, the work that I do, what I've had to do is, you know, if I'm up in my head, for example, or I'm having a bad day, I'm stressed out, I'm anxious or annoyed or whatever it may be, I take myself for a walk. We don't call it a dog walk anymore, it's called the Dave walk. So, Dave's on a walk, you know, and the poor dog has to just follow. But when I do those, that's because I'm so much in my head, so much up in my head, and I want to bring myself back down. And you know, it's my way of just having that moment of like meditation. You know, that just me time. Do you find that with your is your instrument, or if you, for example, am up in your head, do you find, okay, I'll go and play the keyboard, the piano, or I'll play a musical instrument? Is that your meditation? Is that your escape?
And now that you've sort of brought that to my attention, it's made me realise I don't do that enough. Because sometimes I suppose because a lot of the time I'm in the studio, I'm working to a deadline, or I need to get stuff finished, so I don't do that enough. But yeah, I can sit there at the piano, and it is very relaxing if you can just sort of play away and not. It sort of takes your mind off. The stresses of life.
Yeah, and the reason I brought it up as well is because what I'm just trying to show people is that when people say to me, "Oh, I can't meditate," it's about relaxing the mind. So you find what suits you to relax your mind. Everybody's got their own way. So I'm going to bring the question over to you three now. What would you say, or what would you be your place of, I'm up in my head, I'm going to do this, or where do you find that that's when you lose yourself? What do you guys do? Or have you got anything that you do that, like I say, for me, it's walking, meditation, but I do my spiritual practices, but somebody who's outside of that circle, what things do you...
I'm quite similar to walking, really, and just getting outdoors, because I think that absolutely clears your mind. Or sit somewhere where there's peace and quiet, like if there's an open field, or if there's, like, if you're lucky enough to live close to the beach, just sitting down at the beach and just listening to the waves come in.
I couldn't agree more. So I'm the same. When you talked about going for a walk, that's normally what I do, but try and do it each day after work and things like that as well.
Well, I always take things a little bit deeper because of the work that I do, and I always look at things over like energy form. And the reason I think a lot of people enjoy the walks and stuff is because when you imagine that everything negative and everything that goes on, it's like it's dust that's gathering on. So we need to get out and let that dust blow away. Like, you know, we need to polish, and that's where it comes from. So, but for all I'm trying to show is that Roger's way of dusting off, or is I'm going to be, you know. But how about yourself, Megan?
Listening to you say like you don't do that enough. I mean, I used to literally just go in the studio at mum and dad's and like belt out an absolute power ballad, because there's nothing better than just letting rip at a song. But I don't do that near enough anymore, because it's become my job. We're out there entertaining everybody else, and you're rehearsing for that, you're then working to deadlines, you're putting things on, and I think that becomes your way of life. And you were just saying that my way of coping and dusting off is actually working even more. And I think I've now got to that final point where I'm like,
but
I can't do any more.
In all fairness, though, you are stepping back and you are putting a lot of boundaries in place, and I think that's something that everybody has to do. And it's like Roger, for example, you was doing your Caravan stuff years ago with Kel and all the rest of it, and now you've moved into something else, and you've said enough of this, but I'm going to move into this. Not dismissing the caravan parks or saying you're not doing them anymore. But where you're going, it's having a variety, and it's just like, I've had a fill of this. What's really the most irritating part for me is how easy Roger makes it look. I mean, the way, again, just going back, and then the vocals are just phenomenal. And look, honestly, the whole show, so if you haven't seen it, you need to book tickets now. And that's it. I'm putting my stamp on it. Honestly.
Where are we next? What have we got coming next?
We've got loads coming up next, haven't we? We've got lots of new theatres as well. So like we've got a new theatre in September. So Sutton Coldfield.
Yeah, my
Sutton
hometown.
Coldfield.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. On the 27th of September, doing Piano Man. Yeah. So
What about Gloucester?
Gloucester, yeah, that's on the 6th of September. That's for Electric Dreams. So yeah, get your tickets in.
Yeah. And then you're doing one next year as well, Rugeley. Is it like you're already being booked up for next year?
Yeah, Rugeley Rose on 20th of Feb. So yeah, it's exciting.
Back at the Brew House as well.
Yeah, back at the Brew House with a brand new show which we haven't announced yet.
No,
so
we're
okay.
coming soon.
But I was just going to mention absolutely. What about New Year then, Rog? What's your plan?
Well, this was a bit of a coincidence because we were booked by a venue that Meg's friend happens to be the organiser of, which is handy. And they've specifically put in a request for a James Bond themed evening.
Okay.
New Year's Eve. And I delved into the archives of all the shows that I've done for holiday parks in the past, and it just so happens I had a James Bond themed.
Oh wow!
Just
so happened.
Yeah, so we've got to sort of learn and resurrect that and put that, as I say, tweak it and make it better and add the more recent films to it. Because we were talking 20 years ago, we did. So there's been a few more movies since then. So so we've got that to.
We're becoming Bond girls.
Dress up in our fancy gowns.
It just sounds like things are really on the up.
Well,
in a positive way.
I hope so.
Absolutely. And so just to finish off and wrap up then, Rog, just one more time, what would you say to somebody just keep going who's struggling, even if they've got anxiety, worries, stress, just keep pushing forward?
I think so, because I think it could relieve that anxiety and stress. Because it certainly gives you something else to focus on. While you're focusing on trying to play an instrument, you're not focusing on what's giving you the anxiety. It just takes your mind off things.
Well, this is the Roger Parks production crew, band, whatever you want to call them. But no, thanks.
Thank you.
It's been great. No way!
Why did it just?
It just turned off.
It goes just half an hour and then
Yeah.
put it on again.